Before we start the meeting today, we're going to have the pledge and the invocation. Our good member Fran Scholl is going to lead us in the pledge,
I can do that.
and Reverend Sean O'Connor is going to lead us in the invocation in just a minute. Before we do that, we always have to say that if you would like to have a part of the invocation here, you're certainly welcome to call the mayor's office and we'll arrange it. And when we have this invocation, we are by no means promoting any particular religion. The invocation is given for the benefit of the Board of Works or the council, whatever the case might be. And whether or not you participate will not affect the reason that you came here today. So with that, I'd like for us all to stand. I'll ask Fran to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Sean O'Connor, we appreciate you coming in today and doing this for us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Gracious God, we thank you that you appoint us to oversee the business of this fine city. We ask that you would lead, guide, and direct our thoughts so that we would act in prudence. We also come mindful of those that awoke this morning to a different situation in their city, in their town. We ask that you would be with them, that you would mobilize people around them to meet their needs in the immediate and also in the long term. We thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
I will call the official meeting of the Connersville Public Works and Safety to order. First order of business today will be roll call.
Jane Oakley, present. Wayne Shawmut.
Present.
Leonard Urban.
Present.
Mike Bishop.
Present.
Ron Coldiron.
Present. We have a full Board of Works. All members are present. We have a quorum. We can do business. We have, before we start that, anybody would like to turn off their cell phones, put them on vibrate or no ring or whatever they go to. Appreciate that. It's easier to have the meeting. And we'll have the reading of the minutes of the last Public Works and Safety meeting, and that was held on November 4th.
Your Honor, I move that we accept the minutes as so stated for the meeting of November 4th, 2013.
Second, please.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as they were printed and sent out to the board members. Are there any additions or corrections? None appearing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried, the minutes stand approved. We have a request for weed and sewer liens to be waived on 1904 Park Road, and that is Ryan Lynch. Ryan, you want to step up and give us your presentation?
Another test?
Yes. This line quiz.
We have to read this.
Karen's got the tag.
Thank you.
Mayor.
No, there's this one here.
Alright,
I had one.
I'm Ryan Lynch. I'm here for Wiles Inc., which is also, we do business as Spartan Car Wash. And I'll kind of go through this, paraphrase this. And the supporting docs are behind it, and there's a little drawing here. The third sheet shows you what it's going to look like. We started this business in 2001, and we bought houses, fixed them up, sold them, basically real estate. 2005, we built the car wash, Spartan Car Wash, which has the subway on top of 3rd Street Hill. We've been operating since 2005. We've paid $56,254.33 to Connersville Utilities and over $68,000 in property tax. We've purchased the property at 1904 Park Road, the old Clancy's Sparkle Car Wash, depending on how old you are. And we plan to convert one of the lube change bays to an automatic bay first.
Car wash bay.
Car wash bay, okay, phase 1, as you would say. And then we plan to tear down the old tunnel car wash and build to the south of that loop, and that drawing's in your packet. We think we can get 4 bays, those will be spray your own. The bay that we're putting in first would be an automatic bay. When you pull in, park, it washes your car, it actually dries your car too, and then you drive out. Okay? Right now, we have a purchase agreement to buy the property, but there are some liens on the property. And that's what I'm here for today, is there's $3,098.46 in sewer liens and $1,200 in weed and mowing liens. This title search was about a month ago. I know when we were doing it, somebody mowed it again. I'm not sure who that was, so we'd have to look and see if there's another lien on there, but I don't think there is. We plan to renovate the property, reopen, like I said, the first part of it, the lube and the automatic car wash in the spring. And then the summer, plan to tear down and do the rest of it. We're asking that you would forgive or remove those liens from the property on the basis that we're going to be a great customer for Connersville Utilities. We're going to light the place up, we're going to renovate the property, we're going to use local contractors, and we plan to make a good business out of it. That's pretty much what I got. If you have any questions.
I've been
I can
working
answer.
with Ryan on this project, and the greatest thing about this whole thing is we won't have to mow that anymore. We won't have to put liens against it. It'll go back on the tax roll, and it'll be a tax generator for Fayette County and the city of Connersville. We have been doing this as we go along. We've been, if people will take a property and save us from having to tear it down, us from having to clean it up, us from having to mow it, we've been forgiven these liens. I know in everybody's eyes it doesn't sound like the right thing to do, but I think it is the right thing to do when you've got a young hometown man, an entrepreneur. That's every meeting I go to, they tell me, that's the future of economic development, is your local people build from within. I highly recommend to you, I've been working with him, I know what he's doing, and I highly recommend to you that you consider doing this today. I think overall, it's the answer to the problem right there where the old car wash is. It's deteriorating bad, it looks bad. It'll be a nice spot, and that's a main thoroughfare through our town. I'm open for, first, is there anybody in the audience would like to speak for or against it? Anybody at all? Come to the podium, please. Give your name and your rank and serial number.
Of course, I'm with Connersville Utilities. I wasn't aware of the asking for the forgiveness of sewer liens, and in my position, I've not done that before, so if this is approved, if you give me some latitude on figuring how we do that. Have we done that before in the past? Okay,
Bill has, yes.
okay,
We'll walk you through it.
okay, thank you.
Your Honor, the real estate property taxes, $71,950, are those delinquent, or is that just what the taxes has been on it for?
No, that's what's going to be delinquent after this fall. Well, now, yeah, after.
That, we have nothing to say about that.
Right, I'm not the property.
I just asked the question, I know we don't have anything to do with it, okay.
That's another thing, this young man has taken the responsibility to work that through.
I read it.
Plus, worked out buying the property, plus going to put all of his money in it and put it on the tax roll. I don't see how we can do anything but tell him.
Quite a project, Ryan, I appreciate you doing that.
Very thorough report.
As the nurse said, we've been doing this in the past, and I see no reason to stop now.
I need a motion, and if you feel that one.
I'll make the motion.
I like to say that
Ron.
Ryan's past business experience, I think, is an asset. And I'm one that really don't like to forgive these liens, but I'm for this, and I would like to make a motion for it.
Fran made one first, you can
I'll
second.
second.
The other comment, Your Honor, I worked with his dad for 30 years at the plant, and with Ryan used to work for me, and the credibility of their work record it's just phenomenal. I mean, they're just great people, and I think it'll be a good asset to the city.
We have a motion on the floor to forgive the weed liens and the sewer liens. Further discussion?
If I find any more places like this, why come back, Ryan?
It really,
Hey, I didn't come down here to say I was young. I appreciate that. I may come next week. I'm getting old.
it really saves us a lot of money, time, and energy to have someone else clean these places up instead of us.
Yes, especially where that's located.
We'll have a roll call vote just to make the record show it clean here.
Jane Oakley,
Yes.
Fran Schomel.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop.
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
Okay, the board has approved it, and we'll get David, we'll get these liens
We
removed.
got next month to get her done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Ryan.
coming in.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay, we go to our next item of business on here. Would be request boot drive November the 30th, Connersville High School. And that would be Judith Medina. Judith? State your name and your last name so they get it on the air. if you will.
Judith Etzano Medina.
Okay, do it one more time for me.
Judith Etzano Medina.
Okay.
Okay, I am the French teacher at the Connersville High School, and I am taking 9 kids during the spring break to France. And we wanted to have a boot drive to collect money for the trip so the kids don't need to pay all the amount, which is around $3,000 per kid.
Taking 90, did you say?
Nine.
Nine, oh, okay.
$3,000.
9 kids and 2 teachers.
Is that open? The date is open if you want to grant that.
Judith, what was the date of your trip again?
Spring break is March 21st, 22nd through
What did you say, 21st,
Spring break, 21st through the 26th,
26th?
or 28th.
I move, Your Honor, we accept this request for this boot drive for the Connersville French class, is that correct?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Is that 2 places or 3 places you want to do? Some people do 2 places, some people do 3 places.
Do you mean streets?
Yeah.
It would be 2 because the school requires that we have adults in it, and it will be the mother of one of the students and me,
Okay,
so.
2 places. Okay, and then you go to the street department to get your equipment, and they'll set you up because you
Yes,
have to work.
that's what they told me.
Okay, all right. Anybody, any further
Yes,
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried, you got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, street department, we agreed when we put the new trash truck in operation that when the operator could pick up 962 cans or
9:55.
955, that we would make a per hour increase, and he is picking up over 1,000 cans a day without any problem. Plus, I think Daisy's picked up 1,200. So I want to make this recommendation that his hourly rate go to 80 cents. That's what I'm saying, right, Julie?
Well, it's up to the board to decide whether it can go up from 30 cents to 8 cents an hour. To be determined by this board.
So I'm opening this up for you to discuss it.
Is that just one operator? We have more than one operator.
He's the only one that's met the qualification.
Okay.
Yeah. When they meet the qualification, they get it.
Okay.
We promised them that.
Yes.
In fact, I'm delinquent not doing this because I didn't realize he had met it and nobody told me.
Do we have 3 guys that do the
We have
truck?
3 drivers designated.
Okay.
Only one has met the quota to pick up the cans. And they're able to pick up all the trash in Connersville in 5 days.
That's great.
One man.
He's having these problems today, we're picking him up because of the wind, I think.
Finding
Wow.
it, yeah.
I guess it can be any place in between 30 and 82. It can be 30
Yes.
minimum or 80 maximum or any place in between.
He's getting all the trash now, Mayor?
He gets
Yes,
all the
he
trash
does
in
it all.
5 days, one man.
That's what our goal was, correct?
Now, we're not gonna always be able to do that because we have breakdowns
I
on the
understand.
truck. He takes vacations and we have to put substitutes in there. But right now, we can do it. And that's what we were planning for. Discuss it, little board.
Well, he's getting, making over 1,000 pickups.
Oh, easy, yeah. Some days 1,200.
I'm just impressed by the neatness of it, Your Honor. I mean, you drive down the street and the trash cans are sitting there, it's not laying all over the street. And if he can do 1,000, 1,200 cans a day, that's just phenomenal. I mean, he has to be boogieing to do
We gave
that.
him an incentive and he's done his part. Now we gotta finish our incentive.
Well,
He has surpassed our expectations.
exactly. I think we should give him the 80 cents an hour would be my motion, Your Honor.
You got, is that a motion?
That's an official motion from me, yes, sir.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second that we and give him 80 cents an hour or more for handling that job. I think that's a great thing. We show him in good faith what he's able to do, and that's a small token. Discussion, anybody? Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have the opening of bids of gasoline and diesel fuel.
I'm not sure that we got any from the city. We got a couple of bids, but I don't know if they're utilities, so I'd say let's just wait and open them all at once when we do the utilities.
Okay, on table that till next meeting.
Let's wait and see
Later
when we
on in the
open the
meeting
bids, if it's
today.
for the city and
Okay.
utilities.
Okay, all right.
Question. I did turn in a bid for utilities.
For the utilities, yes.
Right.
I said we have one, but that's on down in the agenda.
We're just gonna do it all together. when we
We'll do
go.
them all together.
Okay, then the next item of business would be Resolution 2013-71. This is a transfer in the airport, $60 from telephone to travel. And we could take all of those resolutions, if you've all read them, all the way from E, including
To E.
V, if,
There is one change
okay.
on Resolution 2013-87 in the Parks Department. We needed to change that amount from a $20 transfer from travel to $70 from travel to refunds.
Mine says 70.
Yeah, but theirs doesn't.
Oh, yours
It
doesn't.
says 20, I'm pretty sure.
Well, change that to 70 then, if you would. And everybody knows what we're doing. We're at the end of the year, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We're moving money all over the budget to try to make ends meet, finish up the year. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, she may hit me, but she told me this morning, that's our treasurer, Julie Greason, told me this morning. That there's a good possibility that we won't have to ask for additional money from the general fund the rest of this year, if we can continue to transfer around the budget. And that's good news if we can do that.
What is the one, Your Honor, on fire from specialty pay to
What
other
letter
employees?
number?
Well, I can, those
Okay,
are
go ahead.
mostly my transfers.
What number is it?
It's 13-77.
Okay.
It was just a little difference in the way I budgeted and then the way Lisa paid out.
Okay, that's fine.
I put specialty pay all in one line item. That's a specialty pay that they get every month, so she takes it out of the regular line item
Okay,
payroll.
no problem.
You're able to take
For next year.
$59,000 in fringe benefits of the police.
You have to remember, last year when I budgeted a 10% increase in health insurance,
And we didn't get it.
and we only needed 4%.
good.
And this year it's a 2.5.
And I budgeted again for 10%, so.
Everybody else is getting it. This is why we can tell you now, when we went with the IAC insurance, it was a good deal. Because we're not getting those huge increases. And this is our third year and we didn't know if we were doing the right thing.
That's good.
It is, this is a good indicator we're holding our own, I think.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2013-71 through 78 with the change on Resolution 2013-87 as noted.
Second, please.
We have a motion to consider all those
She mean
resolutions that she just mentioned with the change to $70. Is there any discussion?
She means 88, Your Honor, instead of 78.
87?
71 through 88.
2013, you said through 78, but you mean 88, right?
I'm in 88.
That's okay.
That's that dyslexia that kicks in once in a while.
We can't be perfect, Jane.
Oh, well, no, I can't with this one.
Mr. Barney, what's the other employees, 23,400?
That's the one Ron, or Mike just asked about.
Oh, I didn't.
It's just a difference in the way I prepared the budgets last year and the way Lisa paid out
Okay.
it just made us a little short, because she paid it out of other employees and I budgeted for it out of specialty pay.
Further discussion?
No, sir.
You ready for the question? We'll have a roll call vote since we're taking so much here at one time.
Jane Oakley?
Yes.
Fran Schomel?
Yes.
Leonard Urban?
Yes.
Mike Bishop?
Yes.
Ron Coldiron?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. That moves our agenda along pretty good. We're down to Superintendent Dave Nutty.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
A lot of people have seen our guys out after regular business hours and weekends installing our Badger meters, and we do now have approximately 800 of the 1,000 installed. We are going to keep about 60 back for unknowns such as news services or whatever the miscellaneous might be. So we're getting pretty close and ahead of the game as far as installation of the whole meters.
Good job.
You remember, it was our goal to get them in by Christmas. We're about 6 weeks ahead.
Good.
When you say after hours, you talking overtime, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
The offer to install them by a private company was going to be $33 per meter. And these guys are doing an excellent job. They know where they are, doing great paperwork for us, and we're doing it for less than that.
How many putting in an hour? Is there an average?
I would give an average on the perfect day, but we've not had one of those perfect days yet. But I'm saying they are getting at least 60 on a Saturday, so in an 8-hour period.
5 guys. Okay, there's just one question I have. When will the software be up to where we can use them?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the question we all want to know.
Yeah. We will have software and equipment arriving here the 1st of December, if not the end of this month, and we will begin our in-house training on the 3rd, I think it's a Tuesday, of December, for all the software portion in the office. And on the 4th, we'll have it with the men on how to read them with the new equipment.
So we should be reading them by the middle of December?
Our typical read dates are anywhere beginning on the 5th or 6th through about the 8th or 9th. So we should be able to read them December, the 1st of
It's going
December.
to save us a lot of labor, because right now, we've got about 5, 6 people reading meters, because we got sporadic meter faults all over town. So, this is all a game we're playing here. We're all working it together, get the meters in, get it so we can auto-read them. We get the new meters again in, what month, March?
Well, it's actually not scheduled till May, I think.
I was gonna say,
We'll get the new meters again,
Yeah,
we'll do the
every 6
same
months.
thing, we'll point those in, and in 2 years, we'll have the whole town with new meters, and we'll be reading it automatically. It's gonna hurt, but it isn't gonna hurt as bad as if we continue with the mess we got.
I'd like to speak to you soon about the meter failure issue, and then we eventually will bring it to the board, but they're failing at a rate that every 6 months, where we have projected every 6 months to get meters in to install, in a 6-month period, we always get back up to about 1,100 meters failing. So we're always behind the 8 ball as opposed to getting ahead of it. And we end up having about 7 people reading meters every month.
The only way I can correct that is to work with the company on a payment plan to pay for the meters, so we'll have to do that in-house and then bring it to you.
Yeah.
We've got an agreement right now, we're paying so much every 6 months, and I'm afraid if I ask him for meters ahead of time, they may want more money ahead of time, so I gotta watch that, I gotta watch where we're going.
And what I think you have done is, when you negotiated with them, you negotiated today's prices for 2 years.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance they will be glad to sell you equipment now as opposed to waiting. But we can talk details.
We'll work on that and get back to you. The board understands that situation, we had a plan, and what he's saying is the meters are failing faster than we thought. We were having about 100 meters failing, now he's telling me you're gonna have 600 fail at the rate
Yeah.
we're going.
And taking 3 or 4 days with 7 or men takes a big chunk out of their work time. There's lots of things that's just not getting done that we wish we could.
Yeah. For instance, that hole up on, across from the park, if you don't get that fixed, my phone's gonna die.
are we still pursuing, Your Honor, the lawsuit against,
Yeah, so we'll be discussing that, that's all done in an executive session, because John wants to do that privately, right, John?
Right, yeah.
And we are allowed to do
that's
it.
fine,
Our strategy will be discussed this afternoon. That's dealing with the Datamatic company. We're by no means taking that lightly. We're going after them. This is not anybody in this city's fault. It's the fault that they were purchased years ago and they're not worth a toot. They don't work in our climate. They never did. We shouldn't have had them. We were stuck
So
with it.
we're moving out of it, just
It's painful
maybe slow.
and painful.
All right, I also have, at the wastewater treatment plant, GE blower that's to be installed. And I may ask Mary Ellen for some expertise in this, and also Ron. Ron, Mary Ellen, and I, and Jeff Fager with GE met this morning discussing the installation of that blower. And we've come up with a plan that we can start getting it in right away. What we'll need to do is, and we agreed to this at a previous Board of Works meeting, that rather than having the difficulty of going through GE to get the work and invoice the work and then turn around and invoice us, the worker's going to invoice us directly. That will expedite everything. So the blower's ready to be put in with this work to be done. There needs to be some fabrication and installation of the piping and along with some electrical work. And we have some quotes issued to us by GE this morning, and we accepted those quotes because they're very reasonable, and I can give you that detail in a moment. But with the approval of this, not approval, we previously approved it, but once I mention this to you, go ahead and give everybody a go-ahead. We're going to install it. Well, starting today, they can start with the paperwork and contacting customers.
So when will it be
workers.
operating?
What was I asked him about turnaround time, and
Yes, about turnaround time, it had to do with fabrication of sheet metal, so you're probably like 30 days, I would say. Probably close.
and then immediately following the electrical work will be done. Want to wait on
I
the
think both of
electrical
them
work?
are probably done about 30 days, I would think.
Okay.
Well, I was done a couple weeks ago. I guess it was that much, Mariel. And the thing is sitting in place. It's a built in Connersville blower. It's going to save us a lot of money when it gets operating. That's what blows the air into the thing to cause the bacteria to work. And it's going to be a great improvement. Plus, the other ones are leaking and they don't work good. So we're anxious to get that on. And since it's sitting there ready to go, it's not going to cost us any more money, right?
Actually, the money that's appropriated to put the fabrication and electrical in is going to be taken out of salvage money that was due from the motors that we put in previously.
We received about $5,300 in junk and salvage from those who purchased the old equipment. Is that correct? About $5,300?
$3,100 for the old blower motor and panel, and the rest was for salvage scrap metal.
And the cost estimates is about $5,400.
So very little, it's almost a wash.
That's on.
We have a quote from local company Lake Innovative Group for the fabrication installation of the pipe, along with how do you pronounce that? The plenum? It's the part that
Discharge and
right.
intake plans, yeah.
I know what it is, it's pronouncing the word. And their bid is $4,265.40. Their quote, did I say bid? I meant
It's an estimate.
Did you get other quotes?
We did. Another one is from Starweld over in Rushville. Theirs is $4,275 even without that plenum.
Not the return air plan.
Right. So if they included that, it would be above that.
Why didn't you go to Macomb? They work for the blower company all the time.
Well, they don't have manpower to actually install it though.
Actually, he was the one that got those bids.
Yeah.
They did try to get another quote from another local company, and he declined the bid, or to quote.
Okay.
And then the electrical work,
So you're choosing Lakes,
we were choosing Lake.
or
The-
this board should really do that. You probably ought to ask the board to do that since you got quotes.
And
All right, Governor.
in support of those quotes, I've been there, I've looked at it, I know what he's doing, the electrical work and the sheet metal work. is actually really fair quotes. I thought they would be higher than that myself, but, yeah.
And I don't know how much latitude on the previous meeting you gave us, but you told us to go ahead and meet and proceed with this. So that's what we've done.
Since there's quotes, I think we'll
Committed to lakes.
You recommending this, Ronnie?
Yes, I do recommend it in respect to where Mike's going there. I have seen it, I know what's going on. Also, GE's kind of pushing to get this done, and to help support this, Jeff Faber does energy cost analysis for GE, and he has estimated the savings of this blower to be as much as $1,000 a month. And if he's 50% off, $6,000 will cover it in a year. I mean, it's.
Would you make a motion and then we accept this?
I would
I do
gladly
want to
make a
mention
motion.
the estimated electrical cost too.
Yeah.
Which is $1,287.
Yeah.
So the two estimates combined is still about what we received out of,
And Lakes is gonna do it all.
they're going to do the fabrication
Who's gonna do
installation.
electric?
The electrical is going to be done by
Company out of
Carthage company called Unlimited Electric Incorporated.
Didn't have anybody in Connersville could do that?
Again, I think it was GE's call, they work with Unlimited.
Yeah,
It was GE's call on those.
It's a company that they work with frequently, so that's what they chose.
Do they know that we like to try to keep all the work in Fayette County?
I think so. But
Ronnie made the
we're
motion, I'll
working with
second,
GE.
Your Honor. I think their judgment was.
Well, I think another 30 days, if Mr. Faber's right, you're gonna spend another 30 days just running the blower.
Exactly.
You know,
Well, I agree with all your, but I just like to do, if someone in Connersville or Fayette County can do it, that's who I want to do it.
yeah.
If their price, I don't wanna do it if their price is way out of line, but
Well, I think the difference here was we left it up to GE to get the quotes. If we had got the quotes, we'd have probably got some internally, but we just, you know.
and we gotta remember, GE sold us the blower at their cost.
That's right.
And they're gonna use it, so they're involved in this thing, so,
And a lot of things that we're gonna get out of this, that blower might end up costing us almost nothing.
so
That sounds good.
So anyway, I can go along with that, but I do like to have local quotes. And I know the local people do too. Got a motion on the floor. Ronnie made it.
I second.
Mike Bishop seconded it, that we give this contract to the two companies, Lakes Innovative for the sheet metal, and what's electric company?
Unlimited.
Unlimited Electric Company, because they were recommended by GE, and we're putting in a GE blower. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Other old business, we've got the quotes, but we can do that a little later, I mean, the bids. Also, I'll rely on Jason Chop from Strand to help me with this. This is a pay application for the raw sewage pump motor that was installed at the wastewater treatment plant, and I believe this is the final one, is that correct?
Yeah, this is the
And that's the one
final,
with the reduction?
yeah, it's the final retainage request, last Board of Works
Three
meeting.
of them were installed, weren't they?
What's that?
3 motors.
Yes, 3 motors, control
I
panels,
looked at them, I knew there were 3 new ones.
yeah. So the project's been closed out, they've completed the terms of their punch list. I've received their consent to surety for final payment and their final lien waivers, so they've essentially completed the project. I've approved their final pay request, which is the release of the final retainage of $8,948.01. And that completes their portion of the project. With the release of this retainage, you still are under the 12-month contractor warranty period.
When did it start?
When it went in operation, which was late July, early August? I think August. Beginning of August.
Mid-July.
Will you come up here, Marion?
It was just prior to Bill leaving, I remember that.
Yes, yes. So, and I can give you that exact date, but you're still under the contractor warranty period. But they have completed the terms of the project.
For all of you that don't know, Mary Ellen runs that sewage treatment plant, and she runs it like it's her own. She knows more about that than she does the mixer in her kitchen, I can tell you. I've been down there, and she talks way above me. Mary Ellen, are you satisfied with everything that's been done down there? Is it ready to be paid for?
Oh, yeah, motors are, they're excellent. They're saving us a lot of money, very easy to use. Guys are happy, I'm happy.
Are you excited about the new blower?
I am. That
gonna be
also is
another
gonna
big
save us a lot of money.
I think the last meeting we showed where we projected a 16% savings with these new motors, savings in energy.
Right. And that's about what we're gonna look at these, at the new blower. So we'll be doing good.
Since you're the chief operator, you're the chief down there, I'd like to hear it from you that we're ready to be paid.
Pay them, please. I don't want him to come take them back.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks, Mario.
I need a motion and make that final payment, $8,948.01.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to make the final payment on those three motors. Been a long task, I think, almost a year, isn't it?
Yep, about a year from conception to
But
completion.
we got it done, and we got it done reasonable, and it's working good, and we're saving a lot of money.
And it was almost 12% under budget,
Yeah.
$24,000 under budget.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's why I like Jason. Jason has worked with us on the Milton Sewer project, on this project, and I think we're going to engage him here on another project. I do so. What else you got, Dave?
Well, under some new business, I have 2 requests for trash collection.
Okay,
One of them is on Illinois Avenue, 1210 Illinois. It is what used to be the CEC Arts Building. They're right behind the EMS building. It's now owned by Higher Praise Worship Center, and they're asking for trash pickup. They're also Field of Grace Church at 220 West 4th Street. So those two have asked for trash pickup.
what's the address on West Fourth?
220. Field of Grace Church, 220 West 4th, and Higher Praise Worship Center, 1210 Illinois Avenue.
You'll have to get with David, Joe, or John and find out where they're to set their trash can,
Okay.
especially over there at the Higher Praise. It'll be easy down at the church. Just set it out on 4th Street. Is there any discussion about this?
No, sounds fine.
Did you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve both congregation trash pickup.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome. Just to let you know of a needed repair at the water treatment plant. As you know, we have 6 high service pumps that takes the raw water, forces it through our filters, then all out into the system. We had a failure of one of our motors on one of the pumps, pump number 4, and the motor itself burned. So we have to rebuild that motor. We have a quote for the removal and reinstallation, a company we have used frequently, and that's $1,800 from Bastion Logan Water Services. But trying to get a quote on how to rebuild this motor is difficult because we just don't know for sure the extent of the damage. So I asked them for an outside cost. And they gave me a quote of $6,375 to rebuild this motor, and it is a 125 horse motor. So if you've ever seen one of those, they're pretty big.
Did you get a quote on the new one?
On a new one, I did not.
Okay, that's fine.
They're expensive.
Yeah, I knew
It
that.
would be really salty.
And we work with, it's from Horner Industrial Group, and we worked with them in the past and have used them with their suggestions when we surpass the 50% value, when they then suggest you buy a new one, but they haven't done so.
Or we stay, excuse me, go ahead.
Did you mention anything about a warranty after they rebuild this thing? What do they stipulate?
We typically get one, and I'm sure it's in the paperwork here, I believe I read it, but we typically get one, and we will make sure there is one.
Is this something, Dave, of a high priority? I mean, because of if we lose another pump, are we stable with 5 pumps?
We're stable with 5 pumps, but I wouldn't put it off any more than we had to.
Okay.
Till we get a real big fire.
Yeah, right.
Then we have to run all the pumps.
Did they give you any idea on downtime for rebuild?
Typically, it's quite a bit. It's at least 6 weeks, if not 8.
Wow.
And a lot of that has to do with getting contractor here to get it removed. It's just so big, we don't have any equipment to lift it and get it out of that building.
Is the accessibility to it fairly easy, or do we have to move a lot of stuff out of it?
No.
That's good.
The building is built, you've been there.
Yeah.
It is pretty wide open pump room,
Okay.
and they just have the right equipment that sets in there.
Do we need a motion here to
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to get it done. I'd say
We're
this-
gonna have to trust David to do this reasonable for us.
All right, I'll
We
make a
can't
motion
wait
to
around, we haven't got any choice. We don't.
proceed and get the thing.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second that we approve David to move forward and to get that pump repaired up at the water treatment plant. You wanna set a ceiling to it, or just, I guess just let it?
For us to find out first, don't you?
Yeah,
What the timing is?
The estimate on the high end is that almost 6,500, what was it, 62? $66,375. They believe that's the high end, but if you set a limit and it's $30 over, I'll have to come back.
What about the timing? Have you got a commitment on the repair time? 6 weeks?
I actually worked through our operators on that, and I'll make sure that there's a commitment of as short as possible.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. Did you make a motion?
Yes.
Okay, and a second.
Yes.
Okay, this is the repair of the pump at the water treatment plant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Also under new business, I want to thank Dave Caldwell, who is with Fayette County Soil and Water Conservation. And no, it's not the Dave Caldwell that was with 4-H and Extension Office for many years. This Dave Caldwell works for the Soil and Water Conservation. He got some volunteers to go out and paint stenciling near the catch basins, where that water in that catch basin goes directly to the stream. And he used Boy Scout Troop number 166 and their leaders. And he also used high school Key Club members to do that, and did quite a few for us. And we certainly appreciate that. Most new catch basins that you install, the grates and all the structure has stamped on it just that it goes to stream. But it's nothing like showing a stencil about that big to calls people attention to it. So I just wanted to thank Dave and all the help he's had with for us. And anything else? We got the
We have got the bids here to take care of. I'll give you the financial report here. I'm gonna start putting these in your packet. I don't do it on the council because sometimes they get confused. On our operating and maintenance, our receipts have all but 2 months been above, all but 3 months have been above our cash out. And in water, you have this in your packet?
No.
Yeah, okay, that's what you need. If you go up to top, O&M, we started the month with $718,169.75. We ended the month with $798,60.98 in water. And go to the yellow, we started with $543,605.66. We ended with $506,812.72. And then if you go to stormwater, which always looks good, but remember, one project can wipe you out. $1,289,597.90. $1,331,966-08. So, as you can see, we are staying, we're taking in enough to pay the monthly expenses, and that includes paying our bonds. So we're doing all right, but we're not flushed, and we're not overcharging anybody, because it's nip and tuck. Okay?
And to make a point, it's just things like this pump repair here that bites us when we think
Right.
we're
We'll show.
going down the road, so.
And remember, we've got that Grand Avenue project coming up, starting next spring, and so that may create issues that will cost some money too.
They better not. We don't well on that.
I mean, occasionally You know,
If
cables might break a line.
that was well designed, we should be able to cover everything.
The two of these things had increases and one decrease. The sewer went down quite a bit from October.
You mean as far as revenue?
Yes.
Actual revenue went down?
No, the revenue is okay, it's too much expense.
Went from 543 to 506.
Yeah, that's in our spending. But the revenue was there, we just spent too much. We had more sewer costs this month than normal. See, we started with this and we ended with this, we just spent too much, but our revenue's okay.
Our goal is at the end of the year that we're to the plus.
We're showing to the plus right now, but,
Takes money to
And
run
if-
the place, don't it?
Yeah, and if you're wanting detail on what that came out of, then your claims would show that.
It does.
see right here, our yellow line is our revenue. All but 2 months, 3 months, we've met the revenue. And then in water, all but 3 months, we've met the revenue. And they run side by side because one's based on the other.
Yes. Yeah, the amount of water determines
Yeah.
the sewer.
But when you got a pumper, you gotta do something in it.
Yes.
Whack shit.
Anything else for me?
Yeah, I get it here. Okay, Dave, I talked with Brad Cover up at your supplies, and you have a lot of scrap up there. I need a piece of pipe to make a Christmas tree stand, and I need some outriggers. They want to put a small Christmas tree over in this round thing for Friday night. I've got a guy I think that's going to weld it up maybe for very little or free. I've been working on him. I want permission, the Board of Works to go up there and get some scraps to put that thing together. They've got the parts up there, it's just scrap material that they've cut off the piece or...
Would that fall under utilities or?
No, it falls under me,
Street?
I'm asking to go out there and get it.
Oh,
For the
okay.
city.
Sure. I'm sorry.
I'm taking these materials from the utility company and using them for the city, I have to have permission.
In a motion?
Second.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion and a second, and I'll go up there with you, Dave, and show you what we need.
Okay.
He's got it, I've talked to him. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. No, when you take stuff from the utility, you don't dare take it without getting permission.
And it wouldn't be in that pile if it wasn't scrapped to us.
Nevertheless, it can
Bless
be
his soul, get
sold.
rid of some
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Okay, thanks, Dave. I want to do these bids.
Need some help, dude. Or you just got a copy?
Looks like there's two for chemicals. This one's from Brimtag, and there's the...
Gasoline fuel.
Then it's chemicals for the plant.
David,
Yes.
come up here, please. I try to do this, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Why don't you just do it, you know what you're talking about. Give us the amount. I'm supposed to read the bids, but I'm gonna pass it to you to read for me.
Okay.
You know what you're bidding for, you wrote the bids for the specs. Either that or Mary Ellen did.
Or you want to know what they are and what we use them for? Is that what
No, I
you're...
just want you to tell us the materials and what the bid is. And we'll write them down here as you do
The
it.
company and the quote.
This one's
They bid.
Brimtag.
What chemicals we're bidding for.
This is Brimtag Mid-South. And they're bidding on chlorine, 150-pound cylinders. At $63 per cylinder at a cost of $126 per year if we buy two. And then the 1-ton cylinders, assuming 8 are purchased, is $390 per cylinder or $3,120 per year. Sulfur dioxide, 1-ton cylinders, assuming we buy 3 at $590 per container, it'll be $1,770. And that next word is so long, we just know it as the fluoride acid. It's hydrofluoroacetic acid. But it's fluoride acid, and that is, we will buy approximately 210 of the 150-pound drums per year at $64.50 per drum, which is $13,545. There is no gasoline or diesel fuel bid. Brentag Mid-South.
If you give that to John Baker, John has to check it for authenticity.
And this is JCI, which we know as Jones Chemical Incorporated. 150-pound chlorine cylinders, $60 per cylinder at $120 per year, assuming we buy 2. The 1-ton cylinders, assuming we buy 8, are $421 per cylinder at $3,368 per year. Sulfur dioxide, 1-ton cylinders, assuming we buy 3 per year, they're $610 per cylinder at $1,830 per year.
They didn't
Did they?
price fluoride.
I've not seen that yet. I don't see a fluoride.
Anybody here representing that company?
Jones Chemical.
They did not bid that. See why I have you read it? You deal with it, I don't deal with it.
Yeah, assuming that all the bids are up front, I do not see anything for fluoride, nor gasoline or diesel fuel.
They didn't complete the bid, did he?
So they may not have it.
They can
They may not
choose.
supply
Oh, I
it.
got it, okay.
And that's the only things I see, just those.
Okay, we'll give those to John Baker. You got another one?
If you should see,
Is that all the
if you should
chemicals?
see fluoride in there,
Okay, the rest
let me
are,
know, but I did not see it.
this is fuel for utilities only.
It says utilities with fuel. This is from Harvest Land.
This bid is from Harvest Land, and it's for fuel, unleaded gasoline, assuming we buy 9,000 gallons per year, it is $2. We always go down to 9/10, don't it? So it's $2.869 dollars per gallon. So it's 2.869. That is gasoline. Diesel fuel, assuming we buy 4,000 gallons, it is $3.402 dollars per gallon.
And that's a straight for the whole year. That's unusual, usually.
Well,
it's so much under.
let me read through this. We're going to take these under consideration.
Oh,
right?
yes, yeah. We just gotta
Price
get-
will
we gotta
increase
get
or
it on the
decrease
record.
daily upon market fluctuation. Based on price is November 18th, 2013. So,
So it's not a fixed price, he's not gonna give us a fixed price?
They don't.
They
They
do.
let's just say that.
Did they do that last
Good
week?
store benefit, when it goes down, ours goes down.
Don't go down that often.
So that's gasoline and diesel fuel.
This is just for utilities, and then some one for us.
The other one was for us and diesel too.
No,
Just utilities.
Just the utilities.
this one's just utilities.
And we asked for a city bid?
I have a copy of the advertisement newspaper, and
They're both in there.
Okay.
so
I saw it.
okay, this is for,
the words in twice.
Who's bidding first?
Speedway.
this is from Speedway, right? And regular non-leaded, Gasoline, 87 octane, which that was also 87 octane, just regular gas. Approximately 9,000 gallons per year or less, and it is, no price on that page.
No, they do it different.
Is, gasoline is, I don't know if I'm reading this correctly because it says, yeah, it says approximately 9,000 gallons. It is retail cost minus 5 cents.
And no tax.
Oh, well, I would assume so because we're municipal.
There you go.
That's the gasoline. The diesel fuel is retail price minus 5 cents. And I'm going to assume they have no chemicals here because they're gasoline.
No, they're strictly gas.
Give that to Joan Baker.
Anything else?
That's it?
Thank you,
Okay, I'm
Dave.
gonna ask then at this time that those bids all be tabled and assigned to David Nutty and Jane Oakley as a committee to work with John Baker to bring back the best bids for us next time. Reason I pick on Jane, she knows how to do this, she knows what she's dealing with, she does it at the school. And since it's mostly utility, I want you to work with her, Dave. Is that okay, Jane?
Yes,
Okay, I think you did that last year, didn't you?
yes. Thank you.
Is that okay with the board?
Yes.
And we will consider that the next meeting. Thank you for opening the bids, Dave, and reading that for me. We are under public forum. Is there anybody here that has a...
Police. You missed the police.
Oh, I'm sorry, police department. I saw you sitting there. Go ahead, police department.
I'm going to have my secretary Jackie get up and explain this up here in regards to a contract
Okay,
that we're under for. Then after that, we can take care of this other business.
okay. Jackie?
there's
Jackie
a
is the
company-
secretary for the police department. For you that don't know, and she didn't say her name, Jackie Pennington, secretary for police, how many years?
19.
19 years. Okay, you got the floor, Jackie.
There's a company called buycrash.com. They upload, we have to upload our accident reports to Aries. They have access to them. Insurance companies can access them through buycrash.com, and Buycrash will sell them to the insurance companies for us, and then they charge the insurance companies $12 for the accident reports, and of that 12, we get 8. What it's gonna do is, it's gonna benefit us and the insurance companies both, because the insurance companies won't have to send me the $5 check and then turn around and have to send it back to them. They're gonna be able to get it online a lot quicker. It's gonna alleviate some work off of me. It's also gonna alleviate work off of dispatch for them not having to transfer 10,000 phone calls for accident reports. Right now, we pay $5, they're $5 per copy for the insurance companies, so it's gonna increase the rate, but people can still, if Julie has a wreck and she comes in here, she only has to pay the $5. Anybody who gets it through buycrash.com is gonna have to pay the $12. And 99% of the time, it's the insurance companies, not individuals.
Do we have to sign a contract to get this
Yes,
service?
the contract should be attached to it. I had John Baker go over it
I
before.
read it, right.
There's no
We put it in
startup fee or
front of
anything
you.
like that?
We don't have to pay any.
There was no,
No, I had John, and I had him look at it because I wanted to make sure that we could still, people locally could still come to me and get their report and not have to go through buycrash.com to get it.
And they can do that.
They can do that.
Yeah, section 2.02 provides the city may sell any report or copy of any report as long as the report that is being sold has been submitted to the State of Indiana Central Repository, which is the entity we're talking about that they get this from. And, yeah. So that looks good. And $5 is the cost you normally charge?
That's the cost we normally charge.
I haven't read this all the way through, but is this an annual contract?
Yes.
Yeah, you're-
And it's, they send us the checks quarterly on
Oh, okay. Yeah, I read that part of it.
the
That's
accident
good.
report.
Okay with you, John, the contract?
Yes, it is. I read it over.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me, you ought to do it.
it's very,
See no reason, I
It'll
think
make
it's
people happy and
streamline the process a little bit, so.
doesn't cost us
there's a
anything.
process in it. I'll take a motion if somebody wants to do it.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, we accept this contract with some crash company.
By Crash.
Bye.
Crash.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yes, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jackie.
Okay, before we go any further with police, I'm gonna go back to Diana, because Diana, you got the floor. Diana's our grant writer, and Diana has some things she wants to bring to us today.
I actually have two contracts, and I apologize, I was on vacation last week and I didn't get them in the packet,
That's right.
but I think you had them from previous. I have Candy Urak here today from the Whitewater Valley Canal Byway Association. And the first contract is the memorandum of understanding between the city of Connersville and the WCSBA. That's a mouthful. And it's just stating that all of the match for the grant that we're doing for the Byway Association comes directly from, I believe Candy even has a certified check today to give to the clerk treasurer, that money comes directly from them, that there will be no out-of-pocket money from the city.
We got into this byway, we've been working on it for years. We've got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, went to Brooksville and testified between the commissioners and the county council. Candy has worked on it. It's a wonderful thing. It runs from Hagerstown all the way to the river. You see the Whitewater Byway signs all up and down. You can walk it. I've walked a portion of it at times. It's a great thing. Candy needed somebody, the grant was granted, she needed someone to administer the grant. She didn't have any luck in Franklin County, and she didn't have any luck in Lawrenceburg. She came to me because I've been working with her on this for years, because it's a great thing, I think. It's a tourism item. When these people, it may not be you folks, but when these people want to follow the Whitewater Canal and know where it was, they follow these signs. And we have hundreds, if not thousands, of people that do that. And then we've got the interpretive park at Metamora. That was a grant, and that's all in operation now, and that's going great. This is a study. It's not going to cost the city of Connersville anything. We're going to get the benefit of it, and Diana's been head over heels in administrating this grant. So I need you to okay that, if you will, so we can continue to move forward with it now. Is there any questions about what's going on here? I think you're pretty much familiar with it. I know Fran is.
Where does the money come from, Diane, for the volunteer hours that's worked at $17.69 an hour?
That is, will be all provided by Candy and her group.
And they're here today. Candy, you want to come up here?
It's very specifically outlined in the grant application,
That's fine.
what they have to do to be able to do that. That's been a big question.
Candy is a Franklin County Metamora resident, an excellent cook. If you've ever gone to the state fair and they have all that antique cooking, I call it, over there, and how many people you serve a day?
150 a day,
Including the governor.
including the governor.
And she runs that over there. She's volunteered all this time to do this project. She has put thousands, and I mean thousands of her hours into it. Governor Pence is with us on it. We've been down there, we've gone to lunch together, dinner together. Governor Pence is 100% the project. So was Governor Daniels. He pushed this project as long as he was in office. It's going to be a long-term great project. Our great-grandchildren are the people that's going to want to know where this trail was. We pretty much know, but they're going to want to know. And it's going to be a great thing for Connersville because we are right, it goes all the way through our town. Any questions for Candy? I appreciate what you've done, Candy, and that's the reason I asked Diana to take this on.
I appreciate her. I love her.
How close are we to getting it completed? Is it years and years away?
Actually, the grant is supposed to be completed by June of 2014. We probably will have to extend that deadline. This grant application was granted 2 years ago. So I just took it over, 2-3 months ago, actually. So that's really gonna be pushing for the consultant to be done by
Yes.
then. So by early next fall is my,
Good.
Any questions? Either one of these ladies?
Fine with
I need a motion.
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement between the Whitewater Canal Byway Association and Connersville concerning the Whitewater Canal Scenic Byway Management Plan.
I'll second that, please.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Anybody in the audience have any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you,
We
Candy.
also need to approve the NDOT.
NDOT contract.
Thank you very much.
The next contract was in your packets a couple of weeks ago, in the last board meeting, and we decided to hold off to sign the NDOT contract till we got the Byway Association memorandum done. And it's just a standard NDOT contract. John Baker's looked it over, and
Candy wants to give that check to the clerk treasurer. Would you like to make that presentation?
Sure.
Come on, Candy, and give it to the clerk treasurer. This is the match for the highway study.
5,000 something.
Thank you.
$5,155, exactly.
Thank you, Candy, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Don.
On the contract's just a boilerplate contract from NDOT, which pretty much means we could plead till we were green and they still wouldn't change it anyway. But the contract just says that they're only gonna give us $50,500 cash is all that NDOT will put in towards the project. The Byway Association is putting in the $5,155, but their in-kind services are gonna be $8,145 is what their in-kind services are gonna total up to.
I need
So at
permission to-
$17.50 an hour, that's a lot of work.
I need permission to sign this contract.
I move to give the mayor permission to enter into the contract with NDOT regarding the byway.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Diane.
Appreciate it.
Did you want to speak, sir?
No.
I know you've worked hard on it.
Just thank you.
I know you've worked very hard, and we appreciate all that you've done. She has a group. How big is your group, Candy?
Which time?
Well,
The board members now are at 10.
okay, but at an annual meeting, what do we have?
110?
Yeah.
The last annual.
There's a lot of interest in Fayette, Franklin,
Dearborn,
Dearborn.
Ripley, Union.
Yeah. A lot of really artistic and nice people working on this, really.
There's a lot of history behind
I've
this.
attended these annual meetings, they're wonderful if you get a chance. And I would like to have a board member out of Fayette County, I don't think we have one at this time.
We sure would like to have one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward, public forum, anybody here? We're down to,
Police, you want to do the
oh, yes, I'm sorry. Police.
All day.
Boy, Dave, you're really
We
impressive.
like you, Dave.
Well, I got you started, then I forgot, and
That's okay.
I understand.
We forgive you.
Yeah, we understand that.
Most of you probably have a letter, most of you probably have a letter up there that I made out this morning. Instead of reading this down here, you can read it, I'm just going to tell you in my own words what happened. Officer Jason Richardson got off duty the other night, and he borrowed a car, because his car's down. His other police car, he usually drives, it's been in the body shop. He's been using a pool car, and I don't allow pool cars to go home. I make sure they stay here in case another car breaks down for another officer. Only it's got two of them. And he, on his way home in a borrowed car, he stopped by a residence up on 34th Street in the 500 block, and he took his shirt off and his gun belt, and he put it in the car, and the gun belt he put on the floorboard in the back seat. And of course, it's dark out and everything, and this car is a borrowed car, and he pushed the lock on the door and went inside this residence for about 15 minutes, he tells me. You gotta give me a statement to that fact. He came back outside, and he noticed that back door was ajar and the dome light was on. When checking his gear, his .40 caliber automatic was missing out of his holster. At which time he called the police department, and Lieutenant Wilcox came to the scene along with other officers. We had a couple of dogs up there try to get a scent on the direction that this person might have went. One dog picked up and lost it, went a short distance away from where they were. But as you see here, him borrowing somebody's car and not familiar with the car, and he obviously thought the car locked up. I felt like he was a little negligent, but not really checking that car, because a handgun is our main tool in the police department. You need, and most of us are self-conscious about where that weapon is all the time. So I wrote this letter of reprimand up for him, and what his violation was on abuse of city property. And the punishment is that, and I've conferred with our city attorney, John Baker, the punishment is a 1-day suspension or a letter of reprimand. And I recommend a letter of reprimand for negligence for not securing his weapon properly. He could have either took it in the house with him, gun belt and all, or could have maybe thrown it in the trunk. But obviously he didn't pay enough attention to make sure the car would secure all the way. Also, off this here, this would have to be a choice here, so I also would recommend, and I've talked to Officer Richardson about this incident this night, shortly after I came in, also when I got the call, and him and I had a conversation afterwards. But I want to give him this letter of reprimand, but I also would encourage the Board of Works to possibly make restitution for the weapon that he is missing. The weapon has been entered in NCICI DAX through dispatch. So if the weapon kind of turns up someplace in the United States or Canada, something like this, using a crime, or just somebody has it in their possession, they run that, it's going to see it has been stolen from the Connersville Police Department.
If they don't grind the serial number off, right?
Well, if they grind the serial number off, but they can do that anymore and bring that out even. That's kind of what by the wayside.
I know that.
So
What does weapons cost, chief?
the weapon,
$589.
Wow.
yeah, $589.95. Has to replace that weapon.
Yes.
How long's he been on the force?
He's been on the force for probably 13, going on 14 years, I think, something like that. I think he came on in 2000, I believe. So my recommendation, like I said, I'm going to give him a letter of reprimand, and the board at this time is kind of lays in your hands. And
Have you already issued the reprimand?
No.
We can't do it until we decide what we're going to do here.
I have two questions. In your SOPs, under securing your weapon, is there a procedure on keeping them locked in the trunk and not just in the back of the car?
Not specifically.
Is that
Mr.
something
Baker
that maybe-
reviewed that this morning. Mr. Baker?
Right, well, the only thing that we have that's applicable is section 2-01-11 cited in this letter. Abuse of city property, officers shall not abuse, damage, or destroy any equipment or property of the city through inattention. By intent or negligence, officers shall be responsible for the proper care of city property, which I think is important, whether fixed or movable, and shall promptly report the loss of or damage to the unserviceable condition of such property. So it would appear to place upon the officer the burden of securing property, and I think you can say especially weapons, because they're dangerous.
it really, Jane, anyone, not just police officer, anyone knows anything about firearms, you want to keep them secured, whether they're at home or in a car or something like this. And obviously he locked the two front doors. He wasn't familiar with this vehicle, but and I'm not like, everybody's not like me, but I'm the type of person that, did I lock that door, I'll go back and check it again, whether it's my house, a car, even in my police vehicle, I'll lock it and I'll go back and check it. If I have my old clicker, I'll go back and make sure, because sometimes there is weapons, like shotguns in police cars are in locks, anything else is locked in trunks. But it's kind of a no-brainer. He knows better, and but sometimes you just take for granted that you push a button for a lock a car and all the doors are going to lock, and it's not always the case. We've even had police cars before that Phil would have. We'd have to have Phil fixed because the doors wouldn't all secure. It's something you need to check your cars on a daily basis. That's for the public to know also.
I noticed it was $2,300, which is 11 o'clock. I thought the shift went till midnight.
No, shifts go till
2 to 10.
2 to 10, 10 to 6, and 6 to 2.
Well, I thought we corrected that because the holiday pay when they
We
were
went
over
back,
last-
we changed that back, and we altered that holiday
Oh,
pay.
okay, I thought they were 8 to 4 and 4 to midnight and 12 to 8.
Something happened, the Federal and Florida police didn't like it, it didn't work good.
We tried it that way for a while, and a lot of guys and gals that are police officers on this department for a long time wanted to try a different type of shift, and stuff like this. It was like a 50-50 thing, well, then, just to try it, see how it would work, so we tried it. And there's reasons why things work the way they do, and they found out a good reason why. And just 1 hour makes a big difference in a lot of things. And as far as, one problem was, if you went to work on Christmas Eve, for instance.
Right, I remember.
You got paid for regular, let's say, holiday pay, your holiday pay didn't start till midnight, and it went to 6 in the morning. To collect all the holiday pay for Christmas, you have to work the Christmas night too.
Right.
So to get them 2 hours. So we worked it where now, the 24th, for instance, on Christmas or a holiday, is the full 8 hours is considered a holiday for that shift only. And that's how we worked that. So feasibly, if somebody come in on third shift at 10 o'clock on Christmas, they're not gonna get paid any holiday pay for that. It's already been paid the previous night for that whole shift that ended up on Christmas. That's how we worked that. And that was part of the problem back then.
Yes.
We got that all worked out.
Go
I
ahead.
have my second question, just briefly, on your disciplinary procedures and steps, does he have anything active right now, and do they pile 1, 3, 5, I mean,
Nothing,
if there's anything
that,
active, does this mean there should be more than just a letter of discipline? Even though it's a different situation or a different incident, if there's something already on record that is active, should it
Yeah.
be more than this?
yes, that happened a year and a half ago when he called in sick, and he wasn't sick.
Okay, and how long does that stay active on your books?
That,
1 year or 2
that
years?
is, well, no, if it's a letter of reprimands and letters of consultation will disappear in 1 year.
1 year,
Okay?
okay. That was my
But
question.
suspensions stay on your record for the time you're on the police department.
Okay.
So, at that time, he
was
got a letter of reprimand and also suspended for 5 days with pay. And I didn't go for suspension, and one reason is, we're kind of shorthanded as it is. And if we go for some kind of a suspension or something like this, then when he's gone, I'm going to have to call somebody in overtime to take his place. And so,
Well, you are, but you're not gonna have to pay him, because he's gonna be suspended without pay.
true.
You can get
But-
around that by wording the letter in lieu of a 1-day suspension, and that way it goes on his record that he got a 1-day suspension, but you didn't lay him off, and that way you could keep him. You follow what I'm saying?
According to Mr. Baker, it's the chief of police responsibility to pick the penalty at this point on this offense, right, John?
Well, we have to see what applies, and this is a second offense, and our SOPs provide for what happens if you have a Class F infraction, second offense, and that's 1-day suspension or written reprimand.
Okay, but we decided, or is the police chief decided?
Well, the chief makes a recommendation.
Okay, he's making a recommendation to us that we reprimand.
That's it.
Okay, we don't have to go with his, we can go with it or not.
But I also recommend that he makes restitution. I didn't put this on here, because this pertains to the SOPs. But I am recommending that he makes restitution for the gun that's missing.
Absolutely.
Does the board have the right to ask for restitution for the weapon?
Yeah, you may. I would discourage any automatic withdrawal from his salary. I think that could create a problem.
Without a court order or written permission from him?
Right.
Okay.
May I ask 2 questions?
Sure.
Do we have insurance that covers that?
We have a $500 deductible, there's no point in discussing
That blows that. Second question.
The thing is, it wasn't in a police car, and,
That was my second question.
Now,
He
there
was
is-
off duty, excuse me. He
There
was
is
off-
one chance, when you ask about insurance. If he has homeowners, it might cover.
Well, he's
You're
got
carrying
homeowners.
somebody else's.
His.
But I'm sure he doesn't have own homeowners. 'cause
Well, we don't, that's not our decision.
Well, my second, I ask my second question, please. He was off duty, so that rig automatically becomes his personal responsibility to secure, is that not correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it was his fault.
Yes.
Then I agree with you, he should be held for restitution to repay the city for that weapon.
Let's take both issues. Let's, do you want to go with the reprimand or the one-day suspension? Let's go with that first. What do you want to do on that?
Since the chief recommends it, I'll go with the letter of
Is that a motion?
the letter of reprimand, yes, I'll make that motion that we do as the chief advised on Officer Richardson.
I'll second that reprimand motion.
Got a motion and a second to
Issue a letter of reprimand.
reprimand to the officer. Okay. Further discussion? None appearing, all in favor, or better roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
No.
Fran Schomel.
Yes.
Leonard Urban,
Yes.
Mike Bishop,
No.
Ron Coldiron,
Yes.
What's the score?
3-2.
You too.
Which
3
way?
yeses.
Huh?
3 yeses, 2 noes.
So he gets reprimanded.
Yes.
I'll explain. I appoint the police chief. I have to have confidence in him. I may not agree with what he says, but I need to support him, and he runs the police department. That's why I voted yes.
I mean, just remember, you're setting a precedent by doing this.
And we take every case individually.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, now, on the issue of restitution, is there somebody who wants to make a motion that we do that, or you want to not do it?
I'll make that motion that we order restitution of $589 to replace the weapon that was stolen.
I'll second that.
And a motion and a second that the officer be asked to make
That's your
restitution.
request too, correct?
Yes.
Do we have discussion on that?
We have discussion right now.
Yes, is there a time limit? I would like to, if Fran could amend his motion, that it not come as a payroll deduction, and I also would like a time limit put on that restitution.
Good idea.
You want to amend your motion to do
Yes,
that?
I'll amend the motion that not be taken from his pay, but within 30 days, he has to make restitution.
Now, we have a motion, it's been seconded. Is there a second to the amendment?
Yes.
Okay. On the amendment only, adding 30 days, make payment without coming from his pay. Just on the amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, we got the motion, it now reads, pay for the weapon within 30 days and not take it from his pay. Any further discussion?
What does he do for a weapon?
We gave him
I
a
had
backup.
I got an extra one. It's a
It's
used one.
A
It's-
loaner then or whatever.
Pardon?
So it's a loaner type thing. You loan him a weapon.
Yeah, we had an extra one, yeah. But the thing is, if we go to replace any, if for some reason we would hire another part-timer or something, then I'm going to have to purchase a weapon.
Should he not fulfill what we've said in 30 days, what happens? What's the penalty?
I guess he can bring it back to the board.
Okay.
But therein lies the problem of this type of a situation. If he doesn't, then what violation do we have of the?
Yeah, where do we go there?
Because it's not in the SOPs.
It's not in the
It's
SOP.
just our,
Right.
Might I ask why we can't withhold it from his paycheck?
He's entitled by ordinance to receive a certain amount of pay.
I understand that, but if he agrees.
If he
how about
If he
agrees,
we-
agrees, that's a different
If he
matter.
agrees
If
to
we
do
get a
that,
signed
yeah.
agreement, I mean, we can do other things.
Up on talking to him the other night, and I told him, I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. It depends on the city mothers and fathers, and I told him, I said, you could be looking at suspension, reprimand, and possibly restitution for the gun. And he had told me he had no problem with restitution on the gun.
But if he agrees to it, he can sign an agreement with the clerk treasurer and pay payments on it out of his check.
That's correct.
Or if it was a court order. We
He
can't,
can have a weapon if he orders it within 2 days or a day and a half,
Have a
UPS,
motion not to
every day.
take it from his paycheck.
yeah, we can't take it automatically, but if he agrees that he wants it done, you can do
Because
it.
that can supersede the motion that they made.
Yes, if he agrees to it, yeah. Yeah, we're just saying that the city cannot mandatory do
Take it
this
out.
in this motion. Right, John?
That's correct.
he can request it.
He can request it if that's what he wants to do. Okay.
I'll find that out here in a little bit.
Restate the motion, Julie.
That he make restitution $589 for his gun,
95 cents.
not to be taken from his paycheck and be paid within 30 days.
You ready for the question, or is there more discussion?
Do we need to put in there unless he agrees?
Mandatory.
Well, let's go a month and see if he just pays for it, and we'll address that when we get there.
Okay.
Is, roll call vote.
Jane Oakley?
Yes.
Fran Showman?
Yes.
Leonard Urban?
Yes.
Mike Bishop?
Yes, ma'am.
Ron Coldiron?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's the way we handled that. Sorry it happened. What worries me is that weapon may be in Connersville.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yes.
what I was sitting here thinking.
It's out on the street.
But we've done all we can do. Also, his leather has been retained as evidence. It's going to be taken to the lab, possibly see if we can get some prints off of it. Because I'm not too sure of the holster. I don't think, there's different type of level holsters, but you got to touch this thing and hit snaps and everything else. And it's a possibility we might get another print on that versus his, so.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I got a couple things I gotta give you here, especially for the press. Trash pickup on Thanksgiving week. Thursday will be picked up on Friday. Friday will be picked up on Saturday. So if your day is Thursday, it'll be picked up on Friday. If your day is Friday, it'll be picked up Saturday. The house at Second and Nickel is down and cleaned up. I don't know if you've noticed.
No,
but
yes, I
It's
have.
all down and cleaned up.
Great.
Those are the two things I need to tell you. Also, if you remember back when we were doing the 4-H building, there was a young lady that went out and sold Kool-Aid and did projects to raise money to buy a window. She also went out of her way and put a scrapbook together,
That was part of the 4-H project.
a 4-H project. It's a wonderful scrapbook, and the park is going to retain it up there. But I brought it down here so I could pass it around to you folks to see. You really can kind of walk through the doing of the building.
You and John will look through it?
Yeah, we'll pass it at the end.
Okay. I don't have anything else if we can go to claims. You got anything to, claims?
You want to talk about the building?
Oh, yes, I did. Come on. I looked at you about 3 times today. Chad is going to talk to us. Chad Ricker was a fireman, but he also builds pole buildings. And when I talked to you about this, we got a real problem with storing our stuff.
Yeah.
And when we talked about going down to the compost center down there and building a building, Mike and our park superintendent and Joe both thought it's too far away, it's not feasible, they don't want to do that. Mike has been working for years, come on up here, Mike, right next to his garage, he's got 2 or 3 of those little brown barns and he stores stuff in there. He has been working for years planning to eliminate those barns, it'll be right next to his garage, and build a building right in there that he can keep all his stuff in, and then use the other garage for a workshop. We're doing a whole lot more now in the workshop, because Billy's on board and he does a lot of repairs, and we got good tools, we got radial arm saws, we got things. And he thinks it would be better to build a building there. Then we went back to David Job, and we've looked at maybe, and this is in the preliminary stage, building a building on the street department property just for storage of the stuff we're not using, maybe open-ended building to back the leaf machines in, maybe contacting Duke Energy and see on the other side of the power grid if we could build a building up there to store the city equipment in. It really, they need their own building, the 2 different departments, but he doesn't need as big a one as they do. So we came to Chad. Chad has excellent prices on buildings, and he's going to give you some quotes today, or just kind of...
Yeah, what I did is when I first talked to you, talked about one building, and then after talking, I talked to Mr. Bottomley, talked to Mr. Joe a little bit. I think more of the 2 buildings would probably suit their need better. And you asked me to bring some buildings I've done. I did bring some pictures of the buildings, different buildings I've done. It would be hard for me. I started to put some price together, but until I know their needs, what's the size of the machinery, how tall the building is, things like that. I probably recommend maybe sitting down with Mr. Joe, Mr. Bottomley, if any of the board wants to, or city council or whoever, see what their needs are first, what they got to put in there, and then kind of draw some specs up and go from there.
Give them some, for instance, some of the size buildings you built and the prices. I liked his prices, and I liked his buildings.
Here are just some buildings that, just a few of them I've built. All these have been in Fayette County. Originally, we talked about a large building. I think we threw out, we had like a 60 by 92 when we were talking about one building. I told Mr. Urban that we'd be somewhere probably between 30 and 40,000 on that.
That's without a concrete floor?
Right, without a concrete floor.
What's the size again, excuse me?
This was a 60 by 92, 14 tall. Now.
How much? 40,000?
Yeah, between 30 and 40. And there's so much to a pole barn. I mean, you can go as elaborate or as basic as you'll see in them as you can. Overhangs make a difference. Overhead doors versus sliding doors. A lot of people's putting the permacolumn posts in, which are concrete, so they don't rot off in 30, 40 years. So there's a big variety. That's why I thought, well, we need to sit down and see what the needs are of both buildings and go from there, rather than just start throwing prices on something that I don't know how tall, how big machinery the street department's got. He probably don't need a building that tall. So, kind of discuss. I don't know if we're going to make it like a committee and sit down and talk to both of them.
Is this the one you built out by on Bentonville Road?
Yep, north of Bentonville, yeah.
That's a beautiful barn.
But anyway, like I said, this is just preliminary. After talking to them, I think two buildings would be better than one. If you put it somewhere off of the Parks Department, then he's gonna have an issue hauling all his stuff to the Parks Department. If you put one big building in the park, then you have all the street equipment and everything going through the park, so.
No, and I think this Board of Works didn't want to put another great big building in the park.
Well, my question, now that Mike is here, my question was the aesthetics of it, but if you're getting rid of 3 small ones and you can make it look
we're looking at like
compatible to the garage and landscape it and make it look nice and give it a
30 by
3.
50 building that'll sit right beside the garage that's already there, right behind the house. We have a privacy fence already around it,
Okay.
and it already have 2 of those wooden sheds. And,
But this will be eliminating those,
so
right?
I think we can, the one's not too tall. It
Right.
should blend right in.
That's the thing, put it in the park, I don't think you want something
The
real.
eaves isn't, yeah.
Right, it needs to blend in.
Mike just asked to store lawnmowers and stuff like that. Where over there at the street department, we could leave 3 ends open, 3 bays, and just drive those leaf machines, just so they don't sit out in the weather all year.
Right. And that is,
What'd that cost, Chad?
That was probably about 10 years ago, when you're looking at around, well, that's a different door, that's a bifold door. They go up to 120 foot wide, that one is 30 foot wide, and the door alone was 12 to 15,000 on that one.
Wow.
So that's not really comparable. It's for like airports, your hangars, where the bifold doors go up.
And I have that, Jane, are you done?
Sliders are a little cheaper than your overhead doors, but overhead doors are a lot nicer because you don't have to worry about them. They're more secure. They don't blow off. You don't have to worry. Yeah, they're a lot more secure. If you ever want to heat the building or do anything like that, you're done. You don't have to change the door.
Probably for the park, we want raised doors, and then maybe just to store stuff for the street department, it'll probably a slider door would be adequate. We're just gonna lock it up and not use it all winter.
Yeah, I would recommend on the Parks Department for having, overhead doors probably.
We gotta get this in a bundle, and then we gotta take it to city council and see if we can get it financed, but they were interested, were they not? They were
When did
interested.
you get prices?
They didn't want us to leave that stuff sit outside.
okay.
So I don't know if you want us to get, together, or if you want to appoint somebody to get together with us and we draw up something, see what his needs is.
Would the Board of Works go along with this, if I could appoint a committee of Mike and Job and, Job, Fran, you serve on that?
Yes.
And Mike Bishop, you've got time, and you're feeling better, aren't you?
I'm happy.
You and Fran work with them and bring something back to us, and let's see what we need, and I aim for you and Joe to serve on both the street department committee and this for 2 buildings, and then bring something back to us that we can recommend to city council.
Sounds good.
One of you call Fran and I and tell us when you want to meet, please, so we know.
So we're talking about possibly at the park and at the street
Yeah,
department.
and investigate whether we can put it up, where we can put it, and see what they got to store, and you're gonna be chairman of that whole committee.
Okay,
I expect you to call them together and get it going.
I can do that.
And we're not gonna have any engineering fees, because these are pre-engineered buildings.
Yeah, on a pole building, you don't
So
have
put
to
your
do that.
fingers in your ears, boy.
You buy the package deal, is that what you buy?
We can do it either way. I got several different, places.
I can
around
see
that.
Jason counting the bucks.
He's like, look at his
And if you
face.
need ideas, you want me to sit in on it, that's fine, no problem.
But definitely in the park, Jane says she wants it to,
Right, for what
Jane
you want
wants it
there,
to match the park, so.
Yeah, I want it to
kind of blend in with the garage and the house.
Yeah,
where-
right, the garage and the house and
Yeah,
the buildings.
I would put you on that committee, but I don't wanna, you're already doing that other
I
thing.
don't want to
And
anymore.
I can't have more than two on
I can't
there.
nag at them if I'm on the committee.
Okay.
So she'd want flowers and landscaping.
I want
So we got a committee, work with Chad, let's see where we can go with this.
Okay.
He's got the best prices I ever heard. I'd like to.
We haven't spec'd one out yet, so.
Well, Mike, did you have anything else?
No,
Thank
it's
you.
that.
Thank you.
Mike, tell the Board of Works how busy the 4-H building is.
It's being rented out. I mean, I can't tell you exactly how many times, because I don't deal with the day-to-day rental of the buildings, but it's starting to book in for the holidays, and we're starting to get some summer reservations for weddings, and it's a great place for activities with over 250 people.
I think in the report you've got for the council tonight, it's $580 for last month.
Last month, and it's starting to build up steadily, you know. The size of it really helps, because Miller Center, we get about 250, it's pretty tight, so the quarterback, the football team had their banquet last week, worked out great, a lot of room for them. So it's starting to get the word out, and hopefully it just gets busier and busier.
Are the doors finished?
I keep pushing those and he tells me 2 weeks, 2 weeks. We are
That's what we're
going,
waiting for.
we're gonna get them done, believe me, we're gonna get
But
them.
it's secured, I mean, secured, and
Yeah, we
Yes,
changed
oh, I
it.
know it's secure, I'm just wondering.
Just looks bad.
Yes, it's
Yes.
not pretty.
We're working on
I
that,
look
so
pretty.
I'm telling you. I was with him last week and he's just so busy, he's working in Richmond. And he can rebuild those doors to make them look original, and that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
they're
done.
great.
Okay, claims, I guess, unless you guys, did I miss anything else? Did you have anything, Fire Chief? You're just building buildings today.
I was just observing.
First aid unit, did you have anything?
You want utilities first, Your Honor?
That's fine.
Water was $70,218.69. Sewer was $94,779.19. Water was, or street water, excuse me, was $7,006.08. And trash was $52,799.08. And that's up, is that up? Higher than it normally is, isn't it? Is it? I thought it ran around 39,000, excuse me.
Trash, no, that's about right.
Total claims is $224,803.04.
Okay, city claims 209, the total of $95,004, which is the lowest I can recall.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see a couple of final Visteon bills.
Phone bill especially.
I think that's $714.50 and finally insurance at $566.50. So that's good
For
news.
their information. I move we accept the claims as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to accept both the utility and the city claims. You folks have had 2 days to review them. I know that's what you do. I don't want people to think we just come up here and spend that kind of money without thinking. They work on it for 2 days.
We can go over each one of them if you want to, Your Honor.
No. Any discussion?
Where they did that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. There is some Reagan Street Community Youth Center information in the packet that was put in there for your benefit.
Thank you.
There was a nice thank you from the, they call it the Storm people, and I especially like the quote on the bottom of the page. Fran, you're an eloquent reader. I would like you to read those quotes to us.
Okay, this is from Rick Wright, who handles the storm event for the young people every year. He put these 2 comments on the bottom of the paper. One from Vincent Lombardi is, individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes a team work. And the other one is from former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz. Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. Very good quotes.
Aren't those great?
Yes.
I said,
Words to live by.
I emailed those to a couple of people, and they emailed right back to me.
Motivators.
Huh?
They're motivators, both of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we've had a great meeting today. I'm sorry it took longer. We're gonna have an executive meeting in my office there at 3 o'clock. In the meantime, I'm gonna meet with Jason Chop for a few minutes. If you guys will just go over to my office. Jane, I don't know that you can join us. or-
I'll check.
Okay. I'm sorry it went long, because we advertised it for 3, so we have to have it at 3.
Right,
But,
these are the bids.
So you want all of us in that meeting?
yeah, executive session, all that can come, yeah.
I didn't know.
It's an advertised meeting.
I didn't get it.
Mr. Baker wants to discuss it.
No big deal. No. I'm fine. I'm cool. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay. We got a motion on the floor to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
I was scared, I think we were good. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? You always get those. Sit here before.